Good morning, students. Today we will learn English Literature Lesson 4, that is, Lemon Yellow and Fig. This story is about trust. Sometimes we do not understand whom we should trust and whom we should not trust. So, in this lesson, we are going to study this type of story. I have lost my job. It was a good job too. All I had to do was sit in the shop throughout the day and sell saris and chole pieces. That was all we sold. They were very good saris and chole pieces, specially woven in Mr. Ratnam's little mill in Bangalore and only sold in Bombay through the shop run by me. So here the writer tells us that he recently lost his job. It was a very good job, and what he had to do was just to sell the saris and choli pieces. That is, blouse pieces, which was printed in Mr. Ratnam's mill in Bangalore, and it was sold only in Bombay, and he was the salesman there, and just recently he had lost his job. They had begun to catch on, and last week I had managed to sell over 1,000 rupees worth of them. I had little doubt that very soon the sales would go even higher. In fact, I had written to Mr. Ratnam to send me more stocks. If I could sell 5,000 rupees worth of them every month, that would have brought me a monthly income of 250 rupees. Now, the writer says that the sales are growing day by day, and he had returned to the owner to send the fresh stocks. And now he wanted to make a sale more and more because his own income would have increased at least rupees 250 he would have earned per month. If he sell it, it would have increased. In those days, 250 rupees were a big amount. Yes, it was a good job, but it didn't last long. It went just as I was beginning to be a good salesman, learning all the little tricks. Now, here the writer says that he was just learning the tricks of a salesman and everything was going on well, and all this happened suddenly. I was lucky to get a job. I had no experience of this kind of work. Mr. Ratnam made no secret of the fact that he was employing me purely on a hunch, because he thought I had an honest face. Now, the writer is saying that Mr. Ratnam had made very clear to him that he had employed because he had an honest face, and he trusted him, so he was employing him because the entire shop was under his control. I had answered an advertisement and was interviewed by Mr. Ratnam, who had come from Bangalore. Now, the writer had seen the advertisement in the paper and he had gone for an interview to Mr. Ratnam. It was Mr. Ratnam who told me I had an honest face. He said he was looking for honesty. His last salesman in Bombay had run away with some of the cash and 6 short silk saris. Now, Mr. Ratnam had taken an interview himself and told him that he had an honest face, so he is employing him because his earlier salesman ran away with some cash money and 6 silk saris. Mr. Ratnam gave me the job on the spot. All I want is honesty, he said. Honesty and a pleasant manner with customers. I will try you out for a few weeks, and if I'm satisfied with your honesty and your handling of customers, you can have the job for good. Now, Mr. Ratnam told him that he is looking only for honesty. You are good enough in dealing with the customer and honest persons, and so you can continue with the job. In the beginning, I will test you for few days and you can continue with the job. Of course, I am honest and I am also a hard worker. In the very second week, I had made more sales than the previous salesman had made during any week. The fact that this was the week before Diwali, which, as you know, is the time when more saris are bought than at any other time, may have had something to do with. On the other hand, it may have been due to my salesmanship. Anyway, I had good reason to be satisfied with the way things were going. Now, the salesman is saying that it can be any reasons the sales had increased. Basically, there were two reasons. The first one is that was a Diwali time, and basically during festive time it increases. And the second reason may be that he was a good salesman, so he could easily convince people in purchasing the saris. So this is what he is saying, that it can be any reason, but anyway, his job was going on well. That was how it was until this morning. I was beginning to have rosy dreams of getting married and settling down. Bombay is a good place for a refugee from Punjab to settle down. Now, the writer is saying that everything is going on well since morning. He was dreaming to get married and settle down, since his job was very good and Bombay was a very good place because he was a refugee from Punjab and he thought, since everything is going on well, so I'll get married and settle down in Bombay. I had barely opened the shutters of the shop this morning when the woman came in. She was pretty as a picture, and I felt happy that I should be making my first sale of the day to her. Now, the shopkeeper is very happy because in the morning a beautiful lady had entered his shop, and he was happy because he would do the first sale to this lady. We Agarwal shopkeepers are rather superstitious. Most of us believe that the success of a day depends upon a boni, the first sale of the day. I felt sure that this customer would bring me good luck. Little did I know. Now he did not know anything what will happen or the customer will bring him luck. She would do the boni. Boni means the first sale of the day. So if the boni is good, the whole day will be good. So this is what the shopkeeper believes. She chose a lemon-colored silk sari, very plain without any gold work on it, and a choli piece to match. I felt the yellow was not her color, but of course it was not my place to tell her that. Now the lady chose the lemon yellow color sari and a choli piece. Now the salesman wanted to tell her that this is not her taste, but he did not tell her. As I was wrapping up the bundle, I could smell the perfume she wore. Now, as he was wrapping the saris, he got the smell of the perfume what this lady was wearing. It was quite a strong perfume. In fact, I remember thinking that it was a little too heavy for the morning, but it was a good perfume and seemed to fill the little shop. Now, the shopkeeper had a little doubt as early in the morning who wears the strong perfume. But then he did not react to it because the perfume was very strong. The bill was 40 rupees and she handed me a crisp new 100 rupee note. I gave her back 60 rupees. Mr. Ratnam had told me that I must make it a point to start the day with 100 rupees in small notes kept in my cash box. Now, this lady gave him 100 rupees and the salesman had returned the change. He had the change because Mr. Ratnam had already told him or warned him that in the morning whenever you open the shop, keep a change in the cash box. So he had 100 rupees cash in his cash box and so he gave the lady that cash. He was very particular about cash. 100 rupees was all I was meant to keep in the shop to begin the day with. The rest of the collection from the daily sales was handed over every evening to his munin who called for it. Now, the salesman is saying that it was just 100 rupees. I had to keep in my cash box and the rest of the amount was daily handed over to the munim of the shop. Before going out, the young lady gave me a smile which made me wish that I had been in a position to give her the sari instead of selling it to her. I had hardly replaced the saris and choli pieces which she had been looking at when the other lady came into the shop. She was prosperous, for she wore large diamond ear clips, the hexagonal ones, which are so popular in the South. Now, this salesman had just replaced the saris and another lady had entered and this lady looks very prosperous. Here prosperous means very rich. She was wearing a regular customs earrings which is normally worn by the South people. And as soon as she came in, I got a whiff of her perfume. So as soon as this lady entered the shop, he got the smell of the perfume. I have a sensitive nose, but it did not need a sensitive nose to tell me that it was the same perfume that the young woman had used. It was quite unmistakable. So now he realized that this perfume is the same with the perfume of the previous lady had put. But he thought that it must be a coincidence. At first, it didn't even strike me as being unusual. I put on my best smile and began to show her the saris. She wanted something in what is known in the trade as the fig color. It is a mixture of red and green threads and very popular amongst South Indian women. Now, after getting that smell, he doubted but just ignored it and started showing saris to her. And this lady wanted something unusual color like the South Indians wear. It was a fig color, a mixture of two colors. I took out several different saris in the shade she wanted, but as I was explaining to her why there was a difference in the prices, I must have been thinking about the coincidence of her using the same perfume as the other lady who had given me the 100 rupee note, because suddenly the thought struck me that both the women must belong to the same household. Now, as this salesman was showing the saris to this lady, he was explaining her about the color combination and the amount or the price. He thought of something that maybe these two ladies are from the same family. So students, for today we stop till here, and the remaining part we will do in the next class. Thank you.